Hey, Remy, you ready for more? We need you to go move some food in the market so we can get it later.
Hello everyone, welcome back to Ratatouille. We're doing more market stuff. And we're actually gonna finish the market in this one after what felt like a lot of dicking around in the last one. Because it was a lot of dicking around. I cut out the majority of it because I am a good boy who loves my audience and doesn't want you to sit through the same, 10-minute streak of me wandering around the level looking like, oh, maybe if I walk around then the star will show up and I can get all 100 of them because I am definitely trying to do that. But whatever. So yeah, now we're doing the thing where we need to get all the food ready so that we can push it into the old lady's bag and then steal it. Spoilers. And yeah, you've already seen me, make this trip over to this area of the level. I did that in the last one, kind of by accident. So you should know, generally where I am at this point. So I figured it wasn't as important to show. And I'll just say right off the bat that I have already recorded all of the gameplay for the game. Like, I've recorded up to the end of the game already. And I have already edited the video. Obviously not with my commentary in them yet, but the videos themselves, I've already edited all of them. I don't know why I picked up the spoon first. And I've decided to get a lot more liberal with my cutting stuff out in these last few parts, just because a lot of me fucking up, especially because the last level is pretty difficult, just as, compared to the other levels. It's a really strange thing this game does, where it gets harder as it goes on. I don't really know how common of a thing that is with video games, but this one does that. And so I'm a shitty dumbass at video games, so I do worse with those parts. So I cut those out a little bit more, as well as, again, just wandering around not really knowing what to do and trying to figure out, like, the route the game wants me to take versus the weird fucky route that I could, try to take but would kind of mess everything up. You don't need to see all that bullshit, so just try to keep the parts where I, like, collect things and I'm in a new area or whatever, and otherwise just, yeah, not gonna bother showing it. Mostly because, as much as I like this game, and I mean I do, I'm not necessarily in a hurry to finish it, but like now, especially that I have finished playing through it and recording it, I really kind of just want to get on to my next one that I want to do, which I already know what it's going to be, and I'm excited to do it. I just got done last week, playing through it again and refreshing myself. And so I'm just kind of eager to start that up.
We can get it from her later.
So we're stealing from the market and then stealing from the old lady. Oh, Cousteau would be furious with me.
Who's Cousteau?
He's the chef, see? And... oh, forget it, I'm in.
It's been interesting on this channel, because I'm playing everything on a computer with, like, my headphones in. Because I don't know if anyone else has this experience. Maybe I just have a not loud TV, but I've kind of found it to be the case. I've played my PS2 games on multiple different TVs and have found this to be the case with pretty much all of them. Where, like, and especially in these kind of poopy, not that I think this game is poopy, but, compared to the big dogs, the big, like, AAA games and whatnot, you know, they're kind of just low-level, you know, janky license games. Although, again, I don't find this game particularly janky. I don't know if I would call it, like, polished, whatever that means, necessarily, but I don't think that it seems, like, broken or incomplete or, like, random or whatever. I feel like it... I mean, it's a short game, but it feels like a cohesive game in terms of the gameplay and the level design and the stuff. I like this little, build-up he's got to do. And once again, watch out for the evil child. What was I saying about these janky-ass games and how this one's not janky, really? Oh, yeah, the sound, the dialogue in them is just really quiet, and so, like, I'm so used to only hearing bits of the dialogue in these games, especially, like, open season. They're just random, and, you know, like, they have the subtitles, so I know what they're saying, but that's why I notice it, is because I know what I'm supposed to be hearing, and I never hear it, even when I have the game, like, turned up a pretty good amount on my TV, but I guess I just usually, when I was a kid and everything, and I guess to this day, although I haven't played a game on my actual consoles in a minute, but, yeah, they would always be, the dialogue parts of it would always be really, really quiet, especially in, like, open season, and in this one. They're just little bits of the dialogue that they would just be like, and just like really crazy contrast and volume. I don't know. I don't know if anyone else has that experience, but because I can hear everything very clearly through the headphones and I can blast it right into my ears if I want to, now I hear everything. And I mean, yeah, it's quiet, but I guess it was just But yeah, when I was a kid and I would play them on my consoles, I guess not have them turned up that much because I didn't want to disturb my housemates, my family members. Maybe it's because I was usually playing video games at night and I don't know. But just generally, if I had something up even a little bit loud, I would like get yelled at, so I didn't do that, I guess. So yeah, this is our brilliant plan, was to just completely bamboozle this old woman. And I actually like this little minigame, but it's one of those things that, like, it goes on for just longer than you feel like it should. I don't know. Like, there's always a moment where I'm like, alright, and this is the last one. Oh, okay, no, this is the last one. Alright, maybe not. This is the last one. And when it happens, it, like, feels correct. You know, you're like, oh, yeah, that felt like it was wrapping up, but you have no way of knowing while you're doing it, and I don't know. I mean, I guess I should just know because you can watch the bag on the conveyor belt and everything, but I'm not really paying attention to that when I'm doing it. I'm paying attention to the colors and trying to be quick about it. But I like it. It's neat, and I like the hopping and the pressing of the buttons with little rat feeties. It's cute. But, so, yeah, we're bamboozling the old woman. And I kind of forgot that this game does sort of drop little things, not hints, but drops little things about, the thing that is kind of the main story thing explored in the movie, which is, well, I guess not the main story thing, but a big crux of the conflict of the story is that Remy is stealing food from the humans, and they don't know, and he is conflicted about it because he doesn't want to do it, but he feels obligated to his family, but he is also taking advantage of someone by using Linguini as his conduit to be able to cook, while also stealing from the restaurant and shit. And like in that little bit right there, and yeah, apologies as always for the fucked up animation. I'm sure there's something I could have done about it, but I already didn't do that. And yeah, the ugly man is here, and he's going to chase us again. And this is probably the best, except for the first one, the best run of one of these chase sequences that I have had in this entire LP. Probably the one that went the best in terms of no mistakes. And I think it might be my favorite because it's, you know, challenging enough but not ridiculous, and it's not like just super straightforward, but I also like the fact that it's like Skinner versus the old woman versus you. And yeah, and she just kind of shuffles around with her fucking cane and tries to hit you and knocks a bunch of bullshit over. This was the kind of stuff that when I say the thing about like everyday objects being used to make things and locations in games and movies and how I loved that stuff as a kid, this is what I'm talking about, where like whenever I was in a store or anything, or you know, in my room or the house, I would just, you know, after playing games like this and watching movies like this, I would just look at, you know, places and the things around them. I really don't know how else to say it. And just imagine, you know, like how a rat chase would go, how like little, you know, because so many things as a kid have scenes where they're, you know, animals and shit being chased around by humans and they're tiny, or just a tiny something. It's usually an animal. And, you know, the stuff, all the different objects in the place are, like, used in creative ways for getting around and for, like, being used by the human and then being used against the human and whatnot. Like, I don't know. So, just playing this game and other similar media as a child turned my brain into pudding, and it's part of why I am not normal to this day, is because instead of, you know, thinking, you know, having cognitive thoughts about the world around me and the task at hand, I would be staring at all of the items in the room and being like, ooh, what would be a cool video game level that would take place here? Like, if I were... that's something I would imagine a lot, is I would look, you know, if a like the office at my mom's work that I would visit sometimes. I hate that shit. I hate that momentum killer right there. And it's so hard to time these jumps with these corridors because they're so short and you're going so fast. Like in between the little doorway shits. And yeah, this is by far the hardest slide level, if you couldn't tell, especially once we get into, well, once we get into that, but once we get into the really, really narrow platforms. Anyway, but yeah, like my mom's office had a bunch of shit in it, like books and stacks of different items, and I, you know, would just be sitting there and thinking like, oh, what if like we did a Ratatouille game, or, you know, SpongeBob or something, a video game where you're a tiny thing in this room, and, you know, and I would just shuffle the stuff in the room around to be like platforms and try to make a little platforming shit out of it. This is what was going on in my head as a kid, and I have no idea what I just did there, but it really saved me from just flying out of the pipe. So, good job, me. Why is there no music? Oh, I guess it's just a little quiet. But yeah, you can go pretty quick in this part, and it's very easy to slide off of that part, and once you know it, I did it. I could have just had a cool little end to the run there, going super fast. I nailed that fucking turn, but then just a little too much momentum off to the left, and very easy to fall off of that circular pipe, and I had to die, and don't have nearly as much momentum. It's not nearly as cool when I finish it. Sucks. See, now when I was a kid and I had all the time in the world, and I literally could spend, you know, dozens of hours on the fucking Ratatouille game, I would, like, do the whole level over and do, like, I want to do a perfect run. I want to get all the stars. I'm not doing the next level till I get all the stars. But I can't be fucked to do that now. I have no idea where the rest of the stars in this overworld are. If anyone wants to tell me, I don't really know how you would do that. Other than just, like, literally numbering all of them and telling me, which I don't really want you to do. And I don't really think anyone would do, because they would have to keep track of all of the stars that I've collected so far, and that may not even really be possible.
The other humans have cleared out. You gotta get in there and help your friend finish this meal, and we're gonna help. The last thing we want is to lose this restaurant and its wonderful food supply.
When it comes to cooking, I'm always ready.
That human's still here, and he's completely mad. You're gonna have to find a way to get him out of here. How about the bathroom?
Okay, Dad, don't worry. I can handle this.
So yes, we are returning to the deserted kitchen, which I'm not sure if it is misspelled on purpose or not. Because I'm pretty sure deserted is with one S, and two S's is like dessert. And I mean, it's Ratatouille, there's food puns, but it's not like there's a bunch of desserts in this level, so I don't really get it. So yeah, this level is kind of dumb. This is by far my least favorite part of the game. Which, like, I know that it's shitty to be like, you know, oh, it's your least favorite part of the game just because it's hard and you suck at it, but, like, yeah, a little bit. It's not fun to do stuff you're not good at. I don't know what to tell you. But it's not even that I'm like, bad at it, because, I mean, it's just the same fucking game as ever, but I always just forget what order you need to do things in. I mean, I cut out a whole lot, not so much in this video, but in the coming videos of this level, where I tried to get up on these grills, and I still don't know, I don't remember how you're supposed to get up there. Because there's stuff on them, but, you know, you can't get a can and jump onto them. I didn't see any umbrellas that you could easily float down to, and the ones that I did see were out of reach, and I had no idea how you're supposed to get up to them. So, I mean, you don't need to, so I just kind of forgot about it, because it doesn't matter. I'm not doing a 100% run anyway. I mean, it would be really cool if I could be a cool kid and get everything and show everything in the game, but I'm not gonna beat myself up about it. And I really like this dream level because it's full of meat, specifically patties. I like the wieners, the hot dogs, and like the kebabs and stuff. I'm not a big fan of these, like, I guess, are these like pork chops, I suppose? I don't know if they're supposed to be like steak or pork chops, but I mean, I don't dislike steak or pork chops, but just, they aren't my go-to preparation of either of those types of meat, necessarily. But this run of this level went pretty smoothly. I wish I could say that for the rest of the dream levels in this section, but we'll get to those. I love hopping on the ham. I don't know why they made the ham bouncy, but, like, I don't know who decided, you know, ham's gonna be the bouncy one, but it's funny, and it's ham, and ham is funny, so. I feel very concerned for Remy hopping on these, perching himself on these little skewers. Like, he's probably hurting his little rat butt, his little rat ass. But, yeah. I was also thinking, I was gonna say earlier, and something in the cutscene reminded me, about, how the fucking, the game does sort of acknowledge the whole Remy feeling conflicted thing about stealing, but it never really resolves it in the game, so, like, I question the inclusion of that dialogue anyway. Not that I necessarily think that a video game adaptation of a movie needs to satisfyingly, you know, tell the story of the movie, but, like, if you're gonna pretend like you are, then you might as well, like, at least pay some lip service to it at the end. Not just like have this conflict that you establish from the beginning, and then in the game it just ends with being like, and then everything was fine and I got over it. But whatever, what's done is done. Anyway, next time we will be exploring more of the deserted kitchen for a couple of videos, because this is kind of a long and complicated level. So I will see you then for that.